right. Hello and welcome to PWN's Friday Ask the Expert interview. I'm Marion Gellatly. I'm PWN's Vice President. I'm an image and wardrobe coach and speaker with Powerful Presence. I'm your host each Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time right here on the Powerful Business Connections page, powered by PWN. So let me just say that I am not seeing you, Wendy. So PWN, oh, here we come. I think now we're coming up here. All right. All right, here we go. So today I'm pleased to announce or to welcome our guest expert, a longstanding member of PWN and a PR and marketing pillar in our community. Her name is Wendy Brickman. So Wendy established her award-winning firm, Brickman Marketing, in 1990. Her firm has provided effective marketing, public relations, advertising, and social media marketing to hundreds of nonprofits and for-profit clients throughout the United States. You would recognize many of her client names by the Old Fisherman's Wharf, the Golden State Theater, Monterey County Fair, et cetera, and she does some of my PR as well. So welcome, Wendy. So great to have you here today.
Thanks for having me, Marion.
Well, wonderful. If you have a question for Wendy, go ahead and please put it in the comments area and I'll watch for it because she's going to share some strategies for us. So Wendy, tell us a bit about your background and how you ended up here in Monterey, starting your own marketing firm in 1990.
Sure. I'm originally from Los Angeles, and I was in the home video industry where I worked for many video companies and Paramount Pictures. Loved doing that. And my husband took a job at a law firm here in 1990, and we moved up here. And I continued to market how-to videos, documentaries, children's books, audios. And then somebody said, well, we have a travel product. Do you think you can market that as well? I said, yes, of course. So I did. And basically one thing led to another in terms of my marketing, a huge myriad of types of businesses, services, organizations, nonprofits, for-profits. And it's just been a wonderful journey.
All right. Well, what is it that you particularly love about your work, Wendy?
Sure. I do all types of marketing, and it's certainly changed over the recent years with content marketing and all the different opportunities we can pursue. But I still think that public relations is important. And what makes me happy is getting a story that, it's tangible. So I'll give you an example. Mary Chamberlain, who we both know is an author, a cookbook author, and she teaches cooking classes since the pandemic, once a week and once a month now. And I was able to obtain a story for her in the San Jose Mercury News that'll run on Sunday, but it already was posted online. So that's exciting. And then it's going to be repurposed in some of the other newspapers they own. And it'll be online in a myriad of places. So it's not just print media anymore, it's digital media. And once I have a story, I take it and I run with it, and I can put it in my own newsletter, on her social media, my social media. And it just ends up being a very valuable asset to her organization and to sell books.
Well, I can attest to that because I know you have done so many things for me, and you're very creative about taking one piece of content and figuring out all kinds of different ways to get it out there. So I am a recipient of your what do I want to say, your creativity, your knowledge, your years of experience. And I would also say, really important, you are kind of somebody that is a little bit of a tiger. And I say that in a positive way because you keep at it and you keep at it. And I think that's wonderful. So, we're all business owners here at PWN. Some of us have small businesses, some of us are entrepreneurs. And what do you think some chief or some important strategies are for all of us to remember?
So in terms of public relations, the main thing is to know when you're local, that's good. When you're competing, I know we all want national and international clients, but it becomes increasingly hard. So the journalists today will look at locals before they will look elsewhere. So the first thing to do is to make sure that in your local market, like Monterey County, that you're pursuing all the opportunities. And it's like musical chairs in the sense that there's fewer journalists than ever before and more people coming at them with pitches. So a couple of tips I wrote down that I think we should all keep in mind is they want a news hook. So for example, you may be giving style classes all the time, which is wonderful. And it's on social media and it's on video, so we can pursue it. But from a journalist point of view, what would make it important to write about it now rather than sometime in the future? And know that we're deeply competing with celebrities. So I think Marion knows we had two celebrities on Old Fisherman's Wharf, Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani. They went crabbing, and the fishing company that took them out on the boat posted a photo and sent it to me. And they also went to a restaurant, and within 3 hours, I was able to get three television news shows to do a story on it, and also our local newspaper to publish one of my photos. And so celebrities, trump everything we're trying to do, unfortunately. Also, politics have been, heavily in the news. So now we're left with a smaller amount. What I urge my clients to do and what I do on their behalf is to look and see, okay, what journalists are left and what's their beat, meaning what are they covering? Because a journalist, whether you're local, national, international, doesn't want to be pitched a story that's not within their scope. So it's important to research, what are they writing? And I pay for thousands of dollars of media resources, so it makes it easier for me, but someone else can go and look and see what articles are they writing, what are they tweeting about, what are their social media posts, to get a better sense of something, do they fall within their purview, that particular journalist. Now, what I notice is that there's still food writers, there's still food magazines, there's still food columnists. Okay, so let's say you're doing an event, and I highly urge you to do events because the bigger the event, the more publicity you'll get. So we'll look at Old Fisherman's Wharf. Even though we've been partially closed all this time, we've still done virtual events in the sense that we decorate our wharf, make it beautiful. And I'll give you an example. For St. Patrick's Day, we hired a leprechaun, and he was all dressed up all cute for the holiday. He gave away masks, and we got TV to come out there 3 days in a row. We got it at stories. It was just smart to be able to do something hooked to a holiday and to also have a little bit of a publicity stunt, which I learned at Paramount in the Hollywood industry. What could be kind of fun that you could do? And I was thinking the most humorous one that I think of is women were invited to come and kiss Tom Selleck. I think it was Tom Selleck or Burt Reynolds, one of them. Very famous at the time. He was coming out with a new movie. So what did that mean? Well, it meant that the studio bought a lot of lipstick canisters or got them donated, and they did a huge mural, and they invited the women to kiss the mural, which was pictures of Tom Selleck. So that was something fun. So always try to be creative with events and with my clients. What could be kind of a cute publicity stunt that is, appropriate for their business. So I can think, unfortunately, we've had the pandemic. I can think of some stuff from you, Marion, but we've had to be really restricted.
Yeah.
Also,
I do remember when you did the event with several PWN members that you held at Teresa Ream's. I think it was at disaster cleanups or one of her storefronts. Or
Cypress cabinets.
Cypress cabinets. All right. And so we had several, members of PWN that all came together and, got involved in that. And you were able to have a nice story written about that as well.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Most of us,
Yeah,
most of us, like myself included, who are small, you know, I guess what you're saying is you have to think outside the box. You have to think bigger,
absolutely.
and how you can tie it back into something that's pretty catchy.
Right, right.
And then
So
take that once you're successful with it, and then um, proliferate the information out into the, digital world, right?
exactly, exactly. I wanted to say one more thing about Mary Chamberlain's story. The writer picked, I'd been pitching her and her colleagues for months. I mean, Mary started her cooking class March of 2020, and I stayed top of mind. And I was sending different press releases, not all the time, but staying in touch. And what happened is she was top of mind, and they decided to do a story about Mother's Day. There's the holiday, and what a chef would like their child or children to cook for them. So that was the story. And it's a really cute story, and you'll be seeing it everywhere. I can post it. But
Oh,
again,
that's
it was
great.
hooked to a holiday, and it was a cute idea. So the journalists come up with their own ideas, or you could suggest something. And when we talk about TV, you want it visual. That's why the Wharf is so, we're going to, for Mother's Day, we're going to give out a rose to every mom on Mother's Day.
Oh,
And we're
nice.
going to have a woman in costume giving them out. And we're going to decorate the Wharf with roses. And I think we'll get content. And now, I mean, we'll get coverage, but even if we don't, we get to have, we create a flyer that describes what we're doing. I have a photo contest with almost every event I do on the Wharf. And this is going to be a photo and a poem contest. So you write a poem to your mother, short
Oh,
poem.
nice.
Yeah, and then you can win Wharf dollars, which you can use at any business on the Wharf. And then we highlight the candy stores and the restaurants. So think it through as a whole, holistic way to present your material. And it's not, they don't want to give you free advertising. There's no business writers like there used to be. The Herald had a business writer. The Californian won't even cover anything in Monterey. So you really have to be creative and look at every media point that's out there and build relationships, but don't be too much of a pain. There's also music writers that I work with Golden State Theater. I'm working with the Pacific Grove Art Center now, and there's art writers. And I was able to get a feature story for, I don't think anybody's gotten that, for a gentleman who gives wonderful art classes for children of all
Well, I
ages.
know also too that you have done publicity for authors, right?
Yes, yes,
And I know we have several authors within PWN. So that might be, they should look you up and really have a conversation
absolutely.
with you and just get to know what you might be able to do for them if they're trying to get more exposure for their books.
And again, we got to think out of the box because there's a lot of authors.
Right. If there's something unique
Yes.
about their book. Yeah.
Or
Well, the
now,
one,
I mean, they're also doing, they're starting to do book events. So Karen Murray just did a book event yesterday at the Pacific Grove Chamber Visitor Center. So we're finally crawling out of our hibernation, and we need to consult with Marion Gellatly about how we do that with style. But, now we can start planning events again, which are a wonderful way. One important thing I don't want to forget too is hooking up with a nonprofit, because as I said, they know you're trying to get free ads. This is basically PR, could be perceived as free advertising. And it's so valuable because it hits thousands and thousands of eyeballs. So if you can team up with a nonprofit, and I'll give you an example, Carousel Candies for Valentine's Day, we would hook up with a nonprofit, and a portion of the proceeds would go to the nonprofit. And that was far more palatable to the journalists to write about.
well, that's something that maybe with PWN we should be thinking about, because PWN created the Gina Estrada Women Helping Women Fund, and we have
Right.
been giving out money locally in our community and as well as Fresno County, where she was from. So that would have been an opportunity, I guess, to really come to you and say, can you help with that? So I'll remember that. But I think the other thing I'm hearing you say for all of our members to take note of is use holidays or special days to see how what you do might fit into whatever's coming up. So
Exactly.
look at an editorial calendar maybe and see what you can wrap around
And there's a holiday for everything,
Everything.
but they know that too. So I mean, they know there's dog washing day or whatever, but I would try to go with the major holidays because then they're looking for something interesting. They also like children, children's stories. So I'm working on one
And animals.
Animals, of course. I'm working with one, a woman, she's adorable. Her name's Michelle, and she does Michelle's Creations at farmers markets. So at the Salinas City Center, downtown Salinas farmers market, she does working with plants with children, and it awakens their love of flower arranging. So she's doing something special on the Saturday before Mother's Day, next Saturday.
That's wonderful.
And I think it's a really good human interest story.
Yes.
But will the Herald do it? Maybe not. Will the Californian do it? I hope so. Will the TV come out? Maybe. We'll find out.
Yeah.
It's always exciting.
Yes. Well, you have a wonderful relationship, Wendy, with, all of the writers and the editors in the area. So if anyone can get placement, you can. Sometimes the story just isn't right for whatever their needs are. So, but you never give up.
No, I don't. Polite persistence. But I do say, please come to me several weeks. I mean, don't turn it in the day before. Don't even turn it in the week before. Get their attention in advance, because they may be planning a wrap-up, a roundup story where you can fit in.
Yeah, very good. Well, Wendy, I'm sorry that we're out of time already, because I could talk to you all day. So I want to thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. You're indeed a wise and talented woman with lots of, 30 years experience now. So how can people connect with you best?
I think they should just go on my website, brickmanmarketing.com, and you can email me from there.
Okay, sounds wonderful. Well, thanks again.
Thank you.
So to all the PWN members that are going to be viewing this, I want to just let you know that I'll be back next week again with a new PWN member, Heidi Parr Kerner from Erie, Pennsylvania. Wow. And Heidi is a success coach. She's a keynote speaker and a mastermind facilitator supporting women leaders and entrepreneurs for over 25 years. So we'll be in for another treat next week. And by the way, if you're a PWN member, being interviewed in the Ask the Expert series is a wonderful way for you to get your message out to other PWN members, as well as this is on our public page. And who knows who might be able to pick up a few tips from you and be very interested in making a connection with you. So again, thank you all for joining, for tuning in, and enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.